Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Brethren, thank you so much for joining me again. Today is the day one or the day after Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State. And there has been a lot of development, reactions and counter-reactions from the moment of that pronouncement. So tonight, I implore you to please read beyond the caption of this broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast as well, as usual. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun today. And here is where you are likely going to get the details of what is going on, what transpired, and where the situation currently stands on Mayegun's diary political. Yesterday, Tinubu announced declared a state of emergency in Rivers State, an action that many have considered as, overreaching or far-reaching. Others consider this action as illegal, which ordinarily, if Nigeria is a working system, Tinubu should be standing in defense of his own impeachment as we speak. But we know that is a long shot. So concerning the effect of this action, apart from the reactions, the effect simply means Tinubu unilaterally suspended the democratically elected governor of a state, as well as the state assembly, like unilaterally suspended an elected government, right, in a state in Nigeria. His own minister, which everybody believes, advised him to actually do this. Fagbewon, the Minister of Injustice and Attorney General of Nigeria. So he has come out to defend this action as well, that Tinubu acted very much right within the power that the constitution of the contraption gives him. And he also sent a note of warning to some of to the other states in Nigeria by reminding them that Tinubu has the power to suspend or remove any governor under any constitutional circumstance or circumstances. And therefore, everybody should not dare Tinubu on what power he has and which of them he is ready to use. So conversation is ongoing, but something happened last night. Before the announcement of before the declaration of state of emergency by Tinubu, there were reported 2 explosions, and there have been other reported explosions even after the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State. However, Tinubu, which according to others, right, believing that he acted alone in the sense that the process of declaring a state of emergency in any part of Nigeria was not really followed. The National Assembly was supposed to be carried along. They were supposed to actually give the approval before any pronouncement or announcements like Tinubu did. But as it is expected, the National Assembly, that is more or less like a rubber stamp for this Tinubu, they are likely going to also ignore this infraction. So tonight, we have, I have a lot of update to give to us, step by step, until the last hour or the last minutes on Mayegun's diary political. So if you have read the description of this broadcast and you have liked the broadcast, you have shared the broadcast, thank you. So you have done your part. So it is my turn. Tifnumbu is supposedly was supposed to be an elected president in a democracy. And in a democracy, you have, three sort of organs of government. Is that what you call it? Where you have the federal, you have the state, and you have the local government. By design, the states, which they are called the federating units, they have the autonomy to make their own law, collect their own taxes, and at some point, right, provide their support for, security, kind of. But in practice, what you have in Nigeria is not a democracy to start with, because what should have defined your system of government would have been the people, you, deciding what kind of government do you really want to govern you in your own country. And that would be pretty much like written and printed in your own constitution that nobody will have the power to just change without your consent or approval. So the Nigerian fake democracy was put together by the military, where the people themselves don't even know they didn't even know what was written in their own constitution until the swearing in of Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999. Pretty much like they had a blind democracy, a pseudo-democracy, just to make them feel or pretend to have the power to choose their own representatives or elect their own president, which obviously they don't really have in practice. Then the president of Nigeria, I have said this many times, anybody that parades himself as the president of Nigeria is so powerful that, you know what, God can take time before he punishes anybody. But this president of Nigeria can take your life just like that without any consequences at all. He is so powerful enough that when you read that fraudulent constitution, you realize that what you have in Nigeria is not a federal system of government. It's not a democracy. What you actually have is a unitary system of government, and it is a dictatorship that you have. Anyone that is your president is so powerful that a Nigerian president is more powerful than America. I mean, Nigerian president is more powerful in Nigeria than the American president in America. You know, it's a place where you can get away with anything the moment they call you the commander-in-chief. So what then makes the states, federating units, supposedly autonomous sort of, units of the states, is just by pronouncements, just by words. With Wike and Fubara, who had a deal of godfather and godson, their deal went sour, and then they instituted different cases against themselves. Where Wike has been hosting different media chat or media parley, he's been bragging on what that heaven will not fall if Fubara is removed as governor. A lot of people today who are on the side of Fubara, they are not primarily doing so simply because they like Fubara. It is mostly because of the level of the arrogance, the impunity in the system. They've watched their entire system, like the judiciary, become so compromised that it's more or less like judiciary is under the thumb of Wike, obviously Tifnumbu as well. So there are others who believe that Tifnumbu has already taken sides, and the side he has taken is that of Wike, because if the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled that there is no government in Rivers State, and for government, for the constitution to be sort of regarded as acknowledging the existence of government in Rivers State, Fubara must go back and present the 2025 budget to this House of Assembly members. Fubara went back to present this budget. He was chased out, locked out of their makeshift assembly. Then he wrote to them again that he was planning to come and present this budget according to the Supreme Court. But the House of Assembly chooses to adjourn and also issued the gross misconduct allegation and query against the governor and the deputy governor in what is believed to be a process of removing them from office. If they should be impeached, that will leave the Speaker of the State House of Assembly as the governor of the state. So this has further polarized and divided the state. So when these implosions or these explosions started happening, Tom said it was because the reason why Tifnubu had to declare a state of emergency is, ahead of what the constitution says, right? Is because he has realized that all sides can no longer work together. And since they can no longer work together and they have started bombing the national infrastructure, so they had to act. He also said because Fubara never reached out to him, that is Tifnubu, that Fubara did not reach out to him to report to him that he's having problem in his state. And because he didn't reach out to him, that is the reason why Tifnubu had to remove Fubara from the office. So what happened to Wike? Some people are asking, is he just going to now work? Say, well, Wike has no real constitutional role in Rivers State. And Wike is not also listed in the Supreme Court case or the court cases generally. So therefore, Tifnubu cannot punish Wike. So a lot of people have said. And in the height of it, or should I say, what really triggered it, according to some side, is that once Fubara, to those of you who have said that Fubara is it looks so weak, you know what I mean? I allow all of this to happen. Others are saying that is the reason why Wike actually chose him, among other the Jugununs that are surrounding him and singing his praises. Fubara is considered as the lowest IQ, who has it doesn't have it in name to stand up to Wike, the same Wike, right? There once, I have a video, I don't know if I still have it. Remember this Wike, when he was fighting Amechi, and he only had, if you remember, he only had just 6 members of House of Assembly. I don't know if some of you even remember. Chidi Lloyd, when Chidi Lloyd had to break mace on the head of some, you remember? So what is happening to Fubara right now also happened to Wike, and according to him, Amechi was such an ungrateful former governor of the state. It's the state that gave him everything. And look at what Rotifni, Amechi, was paying the state back. This was a throwback, by the way.
Need peace in the state. You can see that a man who does not love the state. Today, you can see his comments. So it is not in his place to decide. And it is that impunity, that godfatherism he wants to play. It is impunity. He will decide everything that happens. He will decide for your party. He will also decide for the entire River State. This state gave you governor for 8 years. Under this state, he became a minister. Is that the thank you give to the state for making you whom you are, for bringing you up to this level? Instead of you to see how you can have peace in your state, make your state of development. Each day you wake up is to cast aspersion on your state. That is not good. No person that has a sense will continue to do that, because I believe, what do I gain? What do I gain as a person if I destroy my state? Of what benefit is it to me? This is the state I owe everything to. So I needed that peace. I need that development in the state. And you cannot. But each time you go out, you cast aspersion on the state, you say this about the state, you bring down the state, you continue to deceive people. Why? Of what purpose? Anything that will not come to you is bad. If you are not the one who dictates, a whole state that population of not less than 6 million, you think you can continue to dictate to them. And let us see how you will take the state and put in your pocket. That's why, look at voting. By the time, because if this government believes in fighting corruption, as they say, he can't be talking this way. He can't. Because it's all about the person. What does he achieve that you wake up, you go on television to bring down your state? What does he achieve? Need peace in the state. You can see that a man who...
So that was Wike years back, before he finally gained control of the state, replaced the Amechi's loyalists, the Amechi's own thugs. He got them replaced with his own loyalists and thugs. And I bet when Fubara said this few days ago, it was final. It was like the final nail on his political coffin, as decided inside the asshole rock, when Fubara said,
"No matter how we've been fooled in this state, it has gotten to a point where this state have decided to take their destiny by their hands. Inasmuch as I don't subscribe to violence, when the time comes for us to take a decision, I will lead the cause for that decision. Let me say it again, and let me say it again. I'm not scared of anything. The worst that will happen is me to leave the office. It's not. Am I leaving the earth? Is it going to stop me from existing? So I'm not even bothered about that. But the right thing must be done and must be said when the opportunity is given to us. So let me thank everyone, more especially is our youth. Be strong. Don't be backed up. Be strong. I assure you, at the right time, you will get the instruction.
So they said Fubara was the one who said he would give instructions to the youth to vandalize the government property and stuff like that. So when the Trans-Niger pipeline was said to have been sabotaged, it was a minor sort of, scratch. So it's been fixed and it's working again. So then we've had like 2 or 3 other explosions after that, even after the announcement of, or the declaration rather, of the state of emergency. So for those people who have been reacting, right, just before we get to the Attorney General's defense of all this action, one of them is this garbage from northern Nigeria. His name is Garbage something. What is his name again? Right, I'll show you his face, his own position. Among those who were singing the defense of Bukwari at the time. So right now, it seems like they are moving to the other side.
This evening, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has passed a state of emergency on Rivers State. The state of emergency orders the suspension of the governor of Rivers State, Similaye Fubara, the National Assembly, and then appointed a former naval officer, a vice admiral, a retired vice admiral, to be a sole administrator to govern Rivers State. Remember that there has been a crisis between the governor of Rivers State and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, about the control of the politics and the structures and the governance system of Rivers State. It has passed through different legal challenges, breaking laws from both the two sides, and a lot of confusion, where you now have the State High Court giving contrary judgments with the Federal High Court, and now we now have a Supreme Court judgment coming to override all the judgment, and a lot of back and forth, right? So the president have constitutional powers to grant a state of emergency, yes, but the president will have to seek two-thirds majority of the National Assembly to confirm the operationality of the state of emergency. So we wait and see what the National Assembly will do to confirm the complete operationalization of this state of emergency. But my fear is that the crisis in Rivers State is almost like an ethnic crisis between the Ijaw and the other ethnic groups in Rivers State. The Ijaw people are feeling isolated, alienated by some of the actions of the predecessor of Similaye Fubara, who is the current Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike. So we pray that this could not boomerang into crisis. We pray that so many of the citizens of that area will not say they will want to resist this particular state of emergency. However, it is important that all of us keep calm and wait for the system to play out, and that people in the Delta need to a little bit calm down and look through the law. If you don't